Testing, testing, testing. Good morning, one. Good morning, all, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dreamers of all ages. Welcome to the livecast. Let's make sure this is working. Is it working? All right, looks like it's working. Good, yay. All right, we got a few things to cover today. The lighting's going to be a bit weird because I actually had to close the windows because the neighbor behind me decided that he was going to burn a pile of trash and leaves this morning, and the plumes of smoke were coming through and wafting through the room. So I had to close all the windows and turn on the aircon, so you might not be able to see me. But that's probably for the better. All right, here we go. Today is Wednesday, October 11th, 2017. Yeah, the first day of the rest of our lives. Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. That's why they call it the present, or so I am told. Welcome to my bi-monthly subscriber and question livecast, where I'll be fielding comments and questions from subscribers. And I will attempt, or at least make half-hearted attempts, to come up with answers, most of them made up, but hey. I alternate this type of live cast every other week with a This Week in the Philippines, which is a more news-ish type live cast. I broke it up because sometimes there's not a whole lot going on in the Philippines, even with all the stuff that's going on with the insurgencies and the drug war and all that. That definitely has an effect on the zeitgeist of the nation and also the foreigners that are living here. Sometimes there's not enough going on, so this is how I'm doing it. Now, I know live casts aren't everybody's cup of tea. Not everybody likes live casts. A lot of people refer to them as lazy casts, which is cool because it is kind of lazy because there's no editing. Once it's done, and it just gets processed and goes up onto YouTube. So I don't have to do any post-production on it, which saves me a lot of time. But a lot of preparation does go into it, so give me some credit for that. The live stream comment is open. Engage in the conversation, try to be civil, try to be nice, try to be altruistic and selfless. Don't get too nasty. If you get too nasty, you're going to be banned. I'm going to have to ban you, and then you're going to have to go back, make up another anonymous user account, and come back next time. But first, let me make sure this is working. Can everybody hear me? Technical difficulties. I'm pink. Filipina Kisses says is open.
Oh, shit.
Engage in the conversation. Try to
The
be civil. Try to
conservation.
be nice. Try to be altruistic and selfless. I can't talk. Don't get too nasty. If you get too I'm pink. Okay, yeah, that's cool. That's my natural color. That's the way God made me. But first, this week's corporate sponsor. This week's corporate sponsor, and it's a returning corporate sponsor, is Chasing Your Philippine Dream: An Expat's Guide to the Philippines, written by Ned Kelly. Covering virtually every possible topic relevant to preparing and surviving long-term life as a foreign expat in the Philippines, the book comes with a 100% money-back guarantee. If you are not completely satisfied, simply send me an email expressing your dissatisfaction, and I'll promptly, if somewhat sadly, return all your money. I've only had one person request that in the entire time that I've been selling it, and that was because he actually thought it was a physical book. And it's not actually a physical book, it's an ebook, so keep that in mind. So thank you to Ned Kelly and Chasing Your Philippine Dream: An Expat's Guide to the Philippines. It's a great book. We thank you for your continued sponsorship. Patreon, if you've found what I do, and I do a lot, I do videos, I do articles on my blog, all that stuff, responding to questions, comments on all my sites, emails, and all that. So if you consider it to be of some value, contemplate supporting the ongoing efforts over at my Patreon site, www.patreon.com/Philippine Dreams. The link is in the video description box. It also looks like we're going to get some rain because it's getting dark outside. So I'll get less pink. And continued thanks once again to everybody who has helped support this channel, both with kind words and financial contributions. It is much appreciated. Also, keep in mind that this is an open channel. If you're a smaller channel and you get some really cool quality content that you want me to promote, send me an email. I'll check out what you got, and if it's good, I'll send you an email back and we'll discuss it further. Again, it's no longer my channel, it's kind of our channel. I'm actually going to be advertising it locally on one of the Facebook pages here to see if anybody's interested in that. Trivia questions, time for free stuff. If you are trying to get a free copy of my ebook, Make sure you got your browser open and your email ready to go, and myphilippinedreams@gmail.com locked in. All right, last week's trivia question was, from having the world's largest python and saltwater crocodiles, giant mutant hornets, and if anybody's seen those hornets, you know what I'm talking about, and the biggest fish in the seven seas, the Philippines is home to a bunch of bigly beasts. Bigly, that's a Trump reference. This particular animal is the largest that lives in the Philippines and can only be found on the island of Mindoro. The answer, of course, was the tamaraw, and that's spelled Tamaraw. And Chris S. was the first person to answer that correctly, and he was sent a free copy of my ebook, Chasing Your Philippine Dreams. A number of folks also guessed correctly in the video's comment section, but you got to email the correct answer to get the prize. Also, when I did the Mavic Pro, my Mavic Pro maiden flight video, I made a reference to Matt Hardy, a professional wrestler, and Vanguard 1. And Dave, I think his last initial was P. He actually got the reference to that, and he sent me an email, and he was also sent a free copy of the ebook yesterday. So congratulations to Chris and Dave. All right, this week's trivia question. And depending on where you live, I want you to know this one's actually pretty easy. This week's trivia question is, this outlaw from the southern hemisphere, where the water goes in the opposite direction when you flush the toilet, is famous for building early model body armor out of boilerplate and having shootouts with the local constabulary. His last words, and I'm not sure if this is true or not, I do remember it this way, so it's got to be true. His last words before he was hung were, "Such is life." Who was this man? And you also have to include this, what was his nickname in his home country? The first person to email the correct answer to myphilippinedreams@gmail.com gets a free copy of my book, a $10.95 value at any of your local book retailers. Let's go to the comments real quick. Wes asks, Wes CW asks, Ned, how many Philippine cobras have you come across? 0, I think. I think the only cobras they have in the Philippines are up around Palawan. Yeah, Palawan's kind of famous for the giant pythons, the giant saltwater crocodiles, and the cobras. I'm not sure what kind of cobra it is, but it's a pretty nasty cobra. And also there's some insurgency groups going on up there. Studster, yes, you got the correct answer, but if you want the book, Crazy Joe Expat said PV. Studster, you got the correct answer, but you got to email it to me. Yeah, Peter T. Does anybody know what his nickname was? I think you have to be Australian to know the nickname. Hello, Raven from Manhattan. Hello, everybody. Sky Dragon is here. Big Kevin No Bull is here. Big Punisher. All right, guys, keep it civil. Keep it civil. I don't want any drama on my channel, man. Let's see. All right. First up, and this is some sad news. If you live in Dumaguete, if you've been here for a little while, you'll probably know this gentleman. His name is Christian. He is a Swiss national, and unfortunately, he passed away yesterday in a local hospital. He was actually a very famous decathlete in his home country. I believe he was a national champion, and he tried out for the Olympics. He was about 55, 54 years old, and he was living in the Philippines for a very long time. He's been here, longer than I have, and he worked consistently as a personal trainer at the gym that I was at. He'd have foreigner and Filipino clients, and he'd help them with personal training and stuff. Now, Chris, he basically stayed out of trouble. He didn't get him, involved in any of the local drama. He wasn't an alcoholic. He basically, did what he did. He kept a low profile. He lived down in Zamboanguita. But he's been in a couple really bad motorcycle crashes since I've been here. He had a big BMW motard. It was like a 650, 700cc. And he crashed that and totaled it and injured himself pretty bad. And most recently, about a couple months ago, he got into another really bad, might have been more than a couple months ago, motorcycle accident here. He was damaged severely, had some serious injuries off that. And I guess he went into the hospital recently. And at first they thought it was cancer or something to do with that. But then a blood clot, I guess, was released, and he died yesterday because of the blood clot. So rest in peace, Christian. Best to your family and friends. Like I said, I've known him since day one, since I got here. He never had a bad thing to say about anybody, and he will be missed. All right, let's get into the viewer comments and questions. The first one comes from Dan Packard, and it came over Facebook. And the question was, Ned, with all the things that are going on in the Philippines, and there's quite a few things going on in the Philippines right now, what do you think the biggest dangers to foreigners there are? Okay, this is just my opinion and just my limited experience here. I always think, and I've always maintained, that the biggest danger to foreigners in the Philippines is ourselves. Putting ourselves into bad situations, associating with the wrong people, drinking too much. Some guys come here, they get caught up in the drugs that they got around here, the methamphetamine, they get caught up in that. You know, there's been reports of guys being arrested for methamphetamine possession. Just making bad decisions, drinking too much and driving. I think the biggest dangers, and I think I did a video on this, was ourselves, motorcycle accidents, and there was something else. I feel like Steve Perry. Is that his name? Not who's the governor there? He can't remember the Department of Energy, which he now runs. So, but basically, I think the biggest danger is ourselves. Also, coming to the Philippines, especially for retirees, if you don't have something to do, if you're not passionate about something, if you're not pursuing something, if you don't have, I think the French call it a raison d'être, something, a reason to be, you're going to find yourself in a really bad position. You're going to find yourself very bored, very disillusioned. A lot of times guys get isolated. They turn to the alcohol. The alcohol is cheap here. Cigarettes are cheap here. And it just turns into a bad situation. So in my humble experience and with my limited experience, that's what I think the biggest danger to foreigners are. It's not actually getting kidnapped. It's putting yourself in a position where you're sticking out. You know, you're living in an area or you're visiting an area. You're a big giant white guy or a big giant black guy or a big giant Korean. And people see you, and maybe there's some bad players amongst them. What do they say? The bad hombres, right? And they identify you, and they see it. It's not even a political thing for them, you know. It's not, you know, an Islamic thing, or it's not, you know, a communist thing. It's just like, hey, let's make some money. Let's kidnap this guy. But yeah, so that's my opinion. Moving on. Let's go to the comments real quick again. Try to answer those. Kumusta. Good morning, everybody. Brian Petley. Hey, Roberto Don. Big Roberto, what's up? My bodyguard. Big Roberto's got my back. All right, looks like everybody's behaving. That's good. Okay, there's two types of people in the world, people. There's creators and there's destroyers. So let's all try to be creators. Let's all try to be positive and make something instead of encouraging decisiveness and tearing things apart. Speaking of which, let's get into the next comment. Okay, AKA 98032 commenting on Mavic Pro maiden flight video. He comments, I'll be looking forward to aerial views of your house while you're sitting inside pontificating. $1,300? Looks like it goes for about $850. I can see why you're begging now. To which I responded, the Mavic Flymore package actually costs $1,299 in either the United States or the Philippines. And it's not my fault that you are lacking the cognitive skills necessary to get the joke. Booyah! He didn't respond to that one. But he did respond later on in the video. So AKA 98032, he reminds me of the numbers guy. Again, commenting on the Mavic Pro maiden flight video, says, sorry, I do enjoy your vids. Just woke up and watched Bud Brown's vids and was overwhelmed by pointlessness. And he uses the same theme music as you. Got me thinking of your droning. To which I responded, your trolling is impressive. Yeah. So I don't know what's going on there, but let me tell you something, guys. If you're going to come to my channel and, you know, slag on somebody or give, you know, another vlogger that's not a complete knucklehead a hard time because you've been banned from his channel and you can't do it there, I'm probably going to ban you. AKA, I haven't banned you yet, but don't talk smack about other people, especially Bud Brown. Also, somebody said, and I didn't write it down, but somebody said that Bud Brown is the drone king of Dumaguete. Let me tell you something, and let's get this straight. Okay, this is the bottom line. I feel like PV, which is Claw. I am the Ned Barron. Bud Brown is Snoopy. I'm going to take him down. It's as simple as that. You look at the quality of my videos, you see what I'm capable of, you see the quality of his videos. Brown's going down. He's already on notice. I've already swung by his house, and I threw down the gauntlet. All right, Gothis Touchstone Singularity on My Filipina Stole My House. He says, best tip, get a condo, not a landed house. So what he's basically referring to is the fact that foreigners can purchase condominiums, but they can't purchase land in the Philippines. You can put the money in and buy the house, but you can't own the land in the Philippines. Now, the problem I have, and I've talked about this before, with condominiums in the Philippines is two big problems that I see. First off, most of them are in very congested cities. You either got Cebu, Manila, those type of areas. Those cities are very hard to get out of. Yes, there's a lot of amenities, and yes, some people like that type of lifestyle, but I don't like being stuck in the middle of a city. It's not for me. Also, condominiums here are very small. We got some going up in Dumaguete. They're advertising them as two-bedroom condominiums, and they're actually down by High, but they're only 32 square meters. And how you fit 2 bedrooms in a 32 square meter condo is kind of beyond me. Moving on, because we're going to be talking about, and this is an ongoing topic with people, and there's all kinds of controversy around this one. Douglas Glenn on Facebook said, you shouldn't be giving money or food to the poor. It just encourages them not to work and creates a cycle of dependency. To which I responded, actually I haven't responded yet, but my take on it is this. First off, I can't understand why people tell me what I should do and not do with my money. It's my money. I can basically put it wherever I want. And I've definitely spent my money on worse things in the past. As for continuing this culture of dependency, I'm going to be talking about that a little bit later because Milton Wadhams once again came in with a bunch of stuff on that. Mamot Malman left a comment on cooling your hot house in the Philippines, and that video actually took off. It actually got quite a few views, and I think it came out pretty well. He refers to passive cooling. He said a lot of that stuff that you have there is passive cooling, and it is indeed. We got the insulation up in the roof here. That works really well. You guys saw my electricity bill from yesterday. It was 2,125 pesos, which is like $41.66 or something thereabouts. So that's definitely working. Plus, I got all the trees growing around the house, and also got the giant Nipa cover all along the west side of the house, and that all helps a lot. Passive cooling, that's important stuff. Paul Mueller says in the video comment section here, sorry Ned, Bud Brown is too good-hearted to be taken down. Sure about that? Yeah, we're going to see. Abraham Jaffa says, Ned, are you trying to ban me on your channel? No, this is the first time I've ever seen you leave a comment. I don't know who you are. I don't know who any of these people are. Big Kevin, no shite. Big Kevin No Bull says, Ned, you are from Boston. I was born in Brockton. You know, I can actually believe that. Because I've heard your voice. I've seen what you look like. You got to be Portuguese. You got to be a Portuguese for Brockton. Yeah. Definitely got it going on there. Filipino Hippo says people just need to G-check themselves. If you can't control your drinking, then you need to be deported. Yeah, but the problem with alcoholism and drug addiction is they can't control it. And that goes on. All right, back to Filipino Hippo says, LOL, I drink a case, 24 bottles, but I don't act out. I don't know how you can drink 24 bottles in an evening. Sheesh. That's crazy, man. All right, Rollin the Great I did a video on a buddy's house of mine. They were living down in Bacong, and the title of the video was Cool Philippine House for 20,000 pesos a month. And he said $1,500 US equals 76,500 pesos. You can live like a king here in the Philippines. If you want to be more like a king, go live in the province. It's more cheaper price. For real. More natural beef, more natural beach, and good food to eat. Yeah, I mean, one of the hardest things, and I was just talking to a guy last night at Bogart's, my other office, and the hardest thing he had, he's got a military pension, he's got real estate income coming in from rentals in the United States, so he's set financially. He can go wherever he wants in the world, and he's trying to figure out where he wants to make his home base and what he wants to do, because right now he doesn't really have something to do. And the problem about living out in the provinces and living out in the country is unless you're a farmer, one of those gentleman farmers doing something like that, or you're maybe an artist and you don't need the company of, other foreigners occasionally, or if you don't, need to go to the movie theater or go to malls shopping, if you're okay with the power going out all the time, questionable water, and all that, it's finding your place and finding what you want. And a lot of people come here and they go through different stages, because a lot of times when we come here, and includes myself, I didn't know exactly where I wanted to live and what I wanted to do, and it's just basically a learning process. I could not live out in the province. I could not live in the center of a city, and I cannot live out in the province. I like to be in a mid-sized town on an outlying area so I can still get decent electricity, decent internet, I can still work, and I still have decent food, and I can hang out with other foreigners and stuff like that. David Knapp on the Mavic Pro maiden flight said, "Nice job. I am impressed with the smoothness of the flight. No crashes, and the saturation vibrancy was fine for me, but what do I know?" Yeah, I don't know much about it either, obviously, because when you look at that video, the Mavic Pro maiden flight, I actually put it through Lightroom. I edited a whole bunch of clips together and I put it through Lightroom, and I boosted the saturation and vibrancy, and I boosted it a little too much because everything looks a little too unreal. So we're all figuring out this as we go along. But thank you, David. Appreciate it. And there's been no crashes yet. The great thing about these expensive drones is they basically fly themselves. There's a button to take off, it automatically takes off. There's a button to land, it automatically lands. And if it ever becomes disconnected from the controller, or the controller loses power, or it experiences an emergency of some type, it automatically ascends and returns to home. It's called return to home, and then comes down and lands, and you can grab your drone. But yeah, I get really nervous because I just got the thing. When I was out over the water, I got a little nervous every now and then. Colin Maharaj. So this is Colin Maharaj, who must be half Indian and half Irish. On that same video, he said, smoggy, but I like the 360. To which I responded, you mean the smoke? Yeah, Dumaguete likes to burn stuff, pollutes the air and gives their kids respiratory issues. I don't know why they don't outlaw burning and actually enforce it. Actually, I think there's a city ordinance against burning, but it's just not enforced, like many things in the Philippines. And you don't actually realize just how much smoke is going up into the air until you get above the trees. That's the first thing I noticed when I ascended with the Mavic for the first time down the beach, and I turned the camera west, back against the island. You saw all these plumes of smoke going up, these columns of smoke, and you also saw this giant haze across the top of the city from all the burning. So it's a big problem. It's something that they do, and it's tradition to them. God bless their way. And you're probably not going to be able to change them. And you also see it when you're out on ferries and you're coming into islands and stuff. You can see all the plumes of smoke going up. All right, back to the comment section. Okay. All right, I get it. Crazy Joe Expat said, leave Bud alone. Bud's a great guy. Bud is the best of us. That's why, I mean, this troll who's actually still around, he's in Thailand. You guys in the know who I'm talking about. The first guy, this guy, and we'll call him Aaron, the first vlogger he attacked was actually Bud Brown, which is like the nicest guy. Out of all of us vloggers, Bud is actually the best of us. He's a generally nice and warm person. And I just like, man, these trolls, these people that, destroy and tear down, they got no heart, man. Jeremy Parsons says, haha, yeah, Dumaguete has a no smoking ban, but they all cook with fire. Yeah, and I've talked about this before. There is actually a no smoking uh, ordinance in Dumaguete, but again, that's not enforced. I don't know anybody who's been hit with a civil penalty on that one. And like I said before, they'll be driving around. Everybody's got the face masks on to filter out the particulates coming from all these diesel exhausts and all the burnings and all that stuff. And then as soon as they get home, they rake up a pile of leaves and trash with plastic in it and light it on fire. James Culver says, I like the Providence life, Providence, but I'm married and prefer a quieter, slower pace. Yeah, if you're definitely raising a family, doing something like that, you got something to do out in the province, and you like that kind of lifestyle, it's definitely for you. Different people like different things, different strokes for different folks. Yeah, he is. I agree. Chris Bartlett, I don't like to live on my farm. I have to walk there. It's only 1 kilometer away, but it's a long way for me to walk. But we need exercise. Abraham Jaffa, is Philippines safe for me to come, even though my ex-wife has people in the PI government? That's a good question. Yeah, if you've pissed somebody off who's important or wealthy or both of the above, and they're vindictive and they're looking for some revenge, they can always cause trouble for you. It's a little crazy. It's different here. All right, let's get into Milton Wadhams. Milton Wadhams, he's back. I don't know what Milton Wadhams is doing. Okay, so Milton, again, brings up an ongoing issue. On the last live cast I did, drones, tuition assistance, and has life gotten better or worse for foreigners in the Philippines? He says, no wonder so many Filipino kids are asking me for money. They think foreigners just hand out money as they have too much of it. You're doing a terrible disservice to all foreigners in the Philippines. You should be teaching them to get a job and work hard, then get a salary. Instead, you are teaching them to ask for money for nothing. To which I responded in my usual passive-aggressive, sarcastic way, you're right, I'm a horrible person. To which Milton responded, which was nice of him, you're actually one of the best vloggers about the Philippines, but it's still a bad practice in my opinion. I've been raided by kids in Makati coming out of a store. They all expect I'm just going to give my food away. Other slum kids just straight up ask for money. I always give them nothing or just a small snack if I feel the kid is sincere. It doesn't make me a bad person because their parents have opportunities to work and buy them stuff. Once you start giving stuff away, you'll always be doing that. To which I respond, the opportunities that you speak of are very limited when compared to, say, the United States of America. That's job opportunities. And that's one of the reasons why there's millions of OFWs, working overseas, some for years or decades to support their families. To which Milton responded, giving out money or food has never helped any nation. Investing, and let me just do a quick aside, Puerto Rico right now might have some issue with what you just said. Giving out money or food has never helped any nation, even though it's not a nation. Investing in teaching might, but that requires real effort. And that's one of the things I talked about. I'm going to move away from doing the spaghetti fests, and we're actually going to be doing tuition assistance programs throughout Dumaguete, helping kids from poor families, legitimately poor families, go to college. I think Ned, and this is a good point here, because it's actually true. I think Ned is doing this stuff so he can feel good about himself, as do most people who help. I warned him about the situation regarding the house he was helping to build. He disregarded my advice, but in the end, I was right. ... Period. All right. Yeah, one of the things about sharing what you have is feeling better. It's a win-win scenario in a lot of cases. And let me explain. A lot of times, and the vast majority of the time, what I'm doing is I'm giving money to kids that I've known for the past 4 years. I refer to them as the peanut kids, the kids that sell peanuts down on the boulevard. A lot of their families live in Piapi, which is one of the poor areas. There's actually a couple shanty towns down there where it's all just full of squatters. Nobody's paying for rent or anything because they don't have enough jobs. And so the kids go to school during the day, and at night, in the evening, they sell peanuts, they sell orchids, they sell all kinds of stuff on the Philippines, trying to help out their families with some additional income. Now, these are poor kids. I've known these kids for the last 4 years. And so what I'll do, a couple nights I go down to the boulevard, and I hang out, and I got a little crew of foreigners that I talk with. And so what I do is, like on Monday nights, I'll have ice cream night, and they'll come by. An ice cream here over at 7-Eleven costs 15 pesos for an ice cream cone. And, seeing kids get an ice cream cone, they appreciate it. They're happy. They got a big smile on their face, and they got ice cream. And everybody should have ice cream, no matter what your, economic standings or where you are in the class hierarchy. Everybody should have ice cream. And then on Friday nights, I usually do like Lugaw Friday. And there's a Lugaw place right next to the place that I hang out. And Lugaw there goes for about 45 pesos, which is less than $1. And it's like chicken, eggs, noodles. It's like this soup. It's really good. I actually like Lugaw a lot. So I'm actually giving money to people that I know, and people that I've known for a long time. A lot of times, if I don't have change, like if it's Monday night and I only got a 20 peso bill, I'll give the kid the 20 peso bill. He'll go down and buy an ice cream and bring me back the change. And yes, I know some people are going to say giving money to to beggars or whatever is illegal in the Philippines. But this is recording, this is going up live, so if anybody wants to arrest me for doing that, that's fine. I won't take an issue with that. Plus, it'll give me a great opportunity to do some videos inside of one of the local jails. So yeah, I mean, Mel brings up a good point, and this is an ongoing thing, and it is a problem, it is an issue. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong, but people have got to do what they want to do, and I don't think people should be telling other people what they should be doing with their money. As for the house issue, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sure you're referring to the house the world built, but that went smooth. Everything ended up well with that. The house was built. The families are living there. They're still living there. We see them all the time. The kids from those families have helped out in the past with the spaghetti fests. They've actually, engaged and passed out the food. So I don't know what you're talking about, me disregarding your advice. I don't know. Try to do good things. That's all I can say. Edward Annabelle says, Ned, tell the people how much make a day, not much to live off. Yeah, I mean, the vast majority of the Filipinos that you're going to run into in Dumaguete, and Dumaguete is pretty well off. I mean, when you go out into the provinces and stuff, you go down to northern Mindanao and cruise around there, you'll see a better example of most of the Philippines. But minimum wage is like 250, 300 pesos, 350, depending on where you're living. So that's $5, $7 a day. And I've mentioned this, and I think it was in the last LIVECAST. These guys work hard. You look at the guys, constructing buildings. In Dumaguete, there is a huge building boom going on. Not only are they building new structures, but the structures they have in place, like hotels, restaurants, stuff like that, they're making bigger. They're doing additions to. So people here don't get a lot of money. And that's why it's cheap to live here for us foreigners, because we're taking advantage of the local economic system. The local economic system is geared towards people that are making $5 to $7 a day. So the prices on most things, such as rents, services, getting your car fixed, labor, anything like that, food, is cheaper than it is in the West. Oh no, Ella Winter? No. Not the yellow winter. Okay, so we got 135 people watching now. I'm going to try to wrap this up. But again, this whole idea and the whole controversy surrounding giving money to the poor, the beggars are going to be there no matter what. It's just the way it is here. It's been like that for a long time. And if you see other Filipinos, you'll see a lot of them actually giving, 3, 5 pesos to the beggars as they pass. So when I first got here, I listened to everybody, never give the beggars money, it just encourages them, creates that cycle of dependency, all that stuff. But then I saw other Filipinos. Actually, the first person I saw give money to the poor was Michelle. And she was working at the time. She wasn't making a whole lot of money. But if she was going to dig in her pocket and, help out some local beggar kid, why wouldn't I when I'm, making a lot more money? So who knows? I guess everybody just has to do their own thing and be happy with what they got. But I also ascribe to the firm belief that everybody should have ice cream, especially on Monday nights. Celto Saxon on the last LIVECAST video, And he was referring to the comment that I had made about fungus growing in my DSLR lens because I was a moron and I didn't do my research to find out that I'm supposed to keep the humidity level low. So Celto Saxon says, most people here keep their camera stuff in a dry box. I actually have 2 bar fridge size dry boxes where I keep important documents, photo albums, lesser used leather goods, and also chalky type substances like a roll of Tums, to give a few examples. Yeah, the humidity here is brutal. When guys are coming over and they got medical issues and they want to bring all their medical files and everything, I always recommend that they scan them on a computer. Leave your medical files, your actual medical files, at home, back, with family or somebody like that. And put all the scans that you make up on a cloud and also have backups on a local hard drive or stuff. So if you need to get those documents, you can actually get them, print them up. They got printing places all over the Philippines here. So it's easy to get stuff printed up. Also, leather goods is another thing, this stuff right here, the pads for headphones. If anybody can identify what kind of headphones these are, you can get a free copy of the ebook. Just email me at myphilippinedreams@gmail.com. These things rot out fast. This type of styrofoam or whatever it is, that does not last in the Philippines. And he's talking about, he's got the professional size dry boxes. They actually look like the little refrigerators, and so that's good to have. I got my DSLR and my Mavic in a big Ziploc bags, the gallon size, along with silica gel and those little hydrogen-meters or whatever they call them. And having them in there reduces the humidity from about 85% to about 50 to 52%. So that stuff works really well. So thank you for that. All right, back to the live cast. Somebody asked chocolate or vanilla. The chocolate is actually more expensive than the vanilla, and I'm kind of curry-put, so I always insist that they get vanilla, and they seem okay with that. No, RE, those aren't the free headphones that they give you on the airplane. These are actually one of the highest-rated little sports headphones of all time. And if you go to Amazon.com, you'll see they always get 5 stars. They're only like 25, 30 bucks, and they're incredible. Incredible. Okay, Aloe Winter Radio Vlogs. Abraham Jaffa says, Aloe, you're odd. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, this and other people are commenting on the giving money to the poor thing. If you got it, share it. You guys know I'm a freaking socialist anyways. Also, there was actually an article I was reading on my Flipboard the other day, because that's where I get all my news from. It's an aggregator, it's a news aggregator, it's an Android app, and I read it on my tablet. And they were asking some basic questions, like, do you believe that all people should, have adequate health care? That, if somebody's sick, if a kid's sick, something like that, that they should be able to go to a hospital and be treated. Do you also believe that people shouldn't have to live out in the cold or the rain, and everybody should have a roof over their head? Do you also believe that people shouldn't have to starve to death? And if you answered yes to those, then you're basically a socialist. And come to find out, I am a socialist. Reese says, hey, what's going on with Says? Ari says, Ned, do you know anybody who's doing a fundraiser? Yeah, me. I just bought a freaking $1,300 drone. Go to my freaking website, smash the donation button. Also, and it's funny, let me explain one more thing, and it's gone 38 minutes, and that's too long. But I don't like to spend money on myself. I really don't. If you notice, whenever I go back to the United States, I'm always buying used stuff on eBay. I really don't like spending a lot of money on myself for some reason. So with me buying this drone, this was like the first big ticket thing I bought for myself, a luxury item, because it's not, it's not a requisite to live here to have a drone. It is kind of to, spend $1,500 on my scooter, my Honda Click. So this actually took some effort. But then when I saw, the money that I've made with the channel, and this was all found money, I never knew it was going to, get popular or whatever and make some money off of it. I'm like, why don't I reinvest some of that money? And I think it's really cool because it brings a different perspective to the work that you do. Like I want to do more traveling. I want to do more that type of stuff. So I'll be able to bring the drone for me. It's very small. It's very compact. I got the 3 batteries, so I'll be able to do some, different perspective videos on that. Abraham Jaffa says eBay sucks. How dare you? How dare you? I love eBay. And as you all know, you can use eBay in the Philippines. You just got to make sure that what you're buying is coming from China, Hong Kong, one of those areas, and they send it China Post. And then when you get it, customs here charges you like 130 pesos for an inspection fee. Hobo Trekker says, I gave at the office. Aloe Winter. He's so bad. Tom Bell. Also, thanks again to Kelly, who actually went and bought the drone for me over in Cebu, because I was on the fence there for a while about how I was actually going to purchase this thing. So what I did was I pulled out the money out of my account. I gave it to him. Him and his wife and kid were going over to Cebu for 3 days, and he picked up the Mavic for me. So thanks again, sir. I appreciate it. No, it's not a lower-end Plantronics. Mr. Billox, the fireman, says, call the libtard. Absolutely. Libtards, repugs, all that stuff. Dun, dun. Yeah, and a lot of those laborers, man, they're getting like $7 a day, $7 US a day, and they're out there in the heat, and they're just getting beat down. They got their full ninja uniforms on. They got the long sleeves, the gloves, the T-shirt folded up so you can only see the slit for their eyes. They're working their asses off. You see the guys on the road crews out there digging ditches, painting the lines by hand. They work freaking hard, man. And they're strong as hell. Filipinos, and I'm gonna generalize here, but generally they're of smaller stature. But you see these small guys, like 140 pounds, woofing up these giant bags of concrete on their shoulder. I forgot how much those bags weigh. I think it's like 100 pounds, 120 pounds, something like that. And they just carry them around like they're nothing. Freakishly strong. Jeremy Parsons says he gave to the hooker at the Blue Monkey. Okay. She's still there. She was asking about you, actually. Jerry Gamboni says, Ned, could you give a certain Taco Bell lover advice on how to have a successful channel? You spelled successful wrong. Yeah, just be nice and try to help and be positive and create something. Make an addition to the world that's actually something of some value, I don't get the Taco Bell reference. Bum, bum, bum. Jeremy Parsons says my wife can't lift 15 pounds. All right, Big Kev, you take care, man. All right, everybody, thank you for taking part. We got 133 people here. We've gone 42 minutes. That's too long. Thanks for taking part in the discussion. Aloe, it's good to see you. You sick freak. And Al, you're another one. Stop being so decisive. Try to bring everybody together. Try to create that safe space so that we can all come in and grow together, sing Kumbaya, and get some ukuleles. Ukuleles big here. Thanks again for everybody for taking part. Thank you for being positive in the comment section. Until next time. And I should be doing a video on living simply in the Philippines, co-starring Vanguard 1 this weekend. Until next time, take care and be well. Peace.